In this presentation, I just want to go through the Magix Movie Studio 2025 suite. Now, on my on my computer, I do have a lot of editing software suites that I use. I do use different ones. I have the Magix, like I said. I have Coral Video Studio. I've even got DaVinci. And I also use sometimes Movavi, which is another editing suite, and I also use Clipchamp, which is a built-in free software for a Windows 11, which is what I'm recording this this presentation on. But for tonight, we're going to be looking at Magix Movie Studio. So what I want to do is to look at how and where you can get this from. So if you go on the internet and just type in Magix Movie Studio 2025 and hit enter. Magix Movie Studio 2025. Now you can get it from the Magix shop, but there's lots of other places you can get it from as well. It'll be probably get it a bit cheaper. So if you go into Amazon, for example, let me just have a look at Amazon. So from the Magix shop itself, it would let's have a look at the pricing. So buy. So that would be, that's platinum, which is $29.99. That's the suite, which is $39.99. You can get it for $39.99. And this is the ultimate, which is $79.99. So that's from them themselves. But if you go to, let's have a look at Amazon. Just search around for it if it's something that you're going to think you might be interested in. Okay. So let's have a look at how much it would cost from Amazon. Why is it doing that? Magix Movie Studio. Just type that in there. So you've got Magix Movie Studio 2024 suite, which you can get at 44, 2025 there. Magix Movie Studio 2025. That's $33.99. So you can get it for different prices. You've got to look around where basically you got it for $24.99 there, but that's 2024 version. This is a 2025 suite, which is what I've got. That's £50.99. So you get it for different prices if you look around. So let's have a look at the software itself. So let's open it up. And what I'm going to do is just a basic, for this presentation, I'm going to do a basic run around the user interface and how you would put a basic film together. And then in some other presentations, we'll go through the effects and everything else that comes with it. So this is the interface. When you first load it up, this is what you'll see. It'll give you a prompt when you first open it up to create a new one or to load up another project. When you load up and you create a new project, I'll just click on create new project. Okay, so everything that you will do with this software is inside this window. There's no changing of tabs and moving to different tabs and things like that. Everything is inside here. So you've got your effects, you've got your templates, you've got your audio, you've even got a store, and you've got a Magix Hub, which we'll go through in a bit. If you click on the Magix Hub, for example, it'll ask you to log in. Okay. So you put your details in and log in. And this is your hub. So what you can do from here, you can click on stock media, and there's hundreds of different stock media that you can use, and also you can search for something and you can find it in there, or you can go back into the Magix Hub and you can use text to speech. So let me just click back. There's a store. So if you want to buy anything like new effects, anything like that, you can buy it direct from the Magix store itself. So these are all your albums and everything that you can buy off here, all kinds of things. So let's just go back into the Magix Hub and have another look at this. click on home, and then you've got text to speech. So if you want, for example, if you want to use AI to narrate a film that you're creating, for example, you can try that one. You can click on and it'll play it just to get a demonstration.
Hello, I am Derek Multilingual from the United States. Hello, I am Derek Multilingual from the
Hello, I am Louis Multilingual from the United
And that will give
States.
you
I speak your text in English
a
language.
demonstration of the voice. And you can change the mood of it. You can adjust the speed and the pitch. So let's type in some text. Hi. How you doing? And generate a preview.
Hi, how are you doing? Hi, how are you doing?
Now you can change the speed and the pitch. So these are just some things that I just want to run through quickly with you.
Hi, how are you doing?
So you can change all that.
Hi, how are you doing?
So that's the hub. The audio, if you click on audio, you've got these are all the albums that I can use. These are albums, so inside these albums, you've got lots of different sounds and music that you can use. So that's all that. So let's put a basic film together. And let's have a look at the interface. So this is the timeline here. On here you've got storyboard mode. You've also got scene overview. And you've got timeline. I always use the timeline mode. You've got lots of different tracks here. So I'm going to see if I can find some video tracks that we can use. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. So there might be some in here. Let's have a look in here. Right. Okay, these are the tracks here. So let's drag some of these in. So if you watch, when I drag this track in to here, it'll ask you to adjust. So it will adjust the timeline to the movie's settings. So I'm going to click on adjust. Okay. Now the other thing is, if you put a 4K video in there and you adjust it to 4K, when you add a HD 1080p one in there, it won't ask you again. It'll just stick to what it is. And then when you export your movie, if you export it as HD, it will export the 4K into HD, which matches the HD that you've already put in there, the 1080 that you put in there. So this is the track that I've just put in here. Now, as you can see, the audio is inside that track. So if I put another track on, say, for example, that line, and for example, on that line, it will only, on this software, it will play the bottom track, which is this track here. So if I move control, if I move them out of the way, just shift them out of the way. So you can see it's playing that bottom track. Okay, so it will play the bottom track. So let's just delete this, pull that back over here. So, as I said, the audio is inside the track itself. Now, you can split them. All you do is click on this here, which is ungroup. Okay, like that. So that will separate them. But what you can also do is going to click Control Z. Okay. What you can also do is you can right click and hover over audio functions and put them on separate tracks. So now you can see the audio and the video, but they're still grouped. Okay, so that's putting audio and video on separate tracks. Now when it loads up the audio, it loads it up without the waveform. That's to make it load the video tracks up faster. If you want to see the waveform, you just right click and click on create waveform. And there's your waveform. Okay, so that's how to add a track. If you want to fade in, you can just grab hold of these handles here at the end. If you highlight both of them, and it will fade both the audio and the video. Here is your timeline. Now I think that's set to 2 seconds. Let's have a look. Okay. That's Right, that's set to 1,000 intervals. Sorry, 1 second intervals. By holding down the control key and moving the scroll wheel, you can change the timeline. So that's now set to 5 second intervals, 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 15 seconds. And you can make your fade as long as you want it. So that's 1 second. That's a 2 second fade. 1 second, 2 seconds. So that's how you insert your clips. So now we're going to insert another clip. So we go back to import and it'll just go straight back to the folder it was already in. Any clips that are already added into here, into your timeline, will have a red box at the top of it here. So you'll know that that clip has been added into the timeline. So let's drag another clip into it. Right. Okay. Now here on this tools function thing here, you've got a magnet. So that basically snaps everything together automatically. You can turn it off if you want. But what you do is you just drag your clip and it'll snap it to it automatically. Okay, now if you want to fade that in, so if you want to crossfade, you just literally drag it over it. So that will create a crossfade. Like that. Depending on how far you drag the film over the top is the length of the crossfade. So that's how easy it is to do a crossfade. Okay, so that's adding clips. Right, now I'm going to press Control and zoom out. Okay, and what I want to do is to snip this, let's say about here. And all I do is put the time marker where I want to cut it and press the T button on the keyboard. And then I can just delete what I don't want. If you make a mistake, you can always just grab hold of it and drag it. It's pretty similar to any other editing software, really. I'm going to zoom back in again to the 5 second intervals. 10, 5 seconds. So this here should be for 5 seconds. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 second intervals. Right, so if you want to fade out of a track and then fade into the next track, you just move the handles like that. So that's how you fade out. So let's add some text. Let's have a look at the effects and the templates. So let's click on the templates. Okay, once that opens up, I'm going to click on text. Now these are all your different texts that you've got. You've got movie titles. So if you click on movie titles, you can preview them by clicking on them, by playing them. So you can use these if you want to. You don't have to. There's lots of different ones, as you can see. But what I'm going to do is just use some ordinary text. Okay, I'm just going to highlight everything and drag it over. These are all your different fonts. You can preview them just by clicking on them. Okay, so these are all your different fonts. I'm going to use, what's this font here? I'll look at that one. I'm just going to use that for now. I'm just drag that down there. Okay, and then I'm going to double click on it. When you double click on it, it brings the editor up here. So this is going to be my text. So I'm just going to put any old thing in here for now. Sample video. V-I-D-E-O. Sample video. So what you can do is you can change the font if you want to by dropping it down from here and picking a font from there. These are all your bold. You can even have used 3D text if you want to. You can change the colour. You can change how long it, the length of the title shows. So I'm going to move it up to 10 seconds. You can change the colour of it like that if you wanted to. And then once you're done, just click OK. So that's the sample text. Now, again with the text, you can drag it in to fade it in. Like that. I'm going to make it a little bit longer, so you can just drag it to make it longer, however long you want the text to appear for. And then I'm going to drag this over to here. I'm going to have a little bit of a gap in between it, so it'll give it a bit of space after the text. So if I click on the jumps to the end, to the start range in point, so if I click on that, the marker will move to the front, and then I can play it. Okay, now I want to make that text just a little bit shorter, so I'll move that. So drag that over there and play that again. So that's putting a basic film together. Now you want some music. Obviously you can put your own audio in if you want, but I'm just going to go through what's on here. I'm going to click on classic film. Let's have a look at just anything will do for now. So that'll do in there. So we'll drag that into there, and you're going to put it underneath it. I want it to fade in, and I want to cut it to the end of the movie. So press the T button and delete what I don't want. I'm going to highlight all these, just these two here, and I'm going to drag it out so it fades out about there. Now you can use audio effects and put keyframes in your audio, which we'll do at another presentation, but this is just a presentation of how to put a basic film together. So that's basically putting a basic film together. You'll also notice if you hover over your audio, there's a handle here in the middle. So if you click on that, you can drag the audio to move it, to lower it, or to raise it. So that's how simple it is to drop your audio. So for example, let's put that back to 0. That'll do. So if I clicked here, for example, and split this audio, and suppress a T. Now if I wanted to, I could drag that audio down to about -11, and then when we click play back, so that's how easy it is to adjust the audio. You can put keyframes in. So if you had keyframes, which I'll do now actually. So let's make Control Z and Control Z that. Okay. So what I'm going to do here then is I'm going to click on Effects, and I'm going to move down to Audio Effects and drop that down, and I'm going to click on General. So here I'm going to click on the audio. I'm going to add a keyframe. So that's where it's going to start from. Okay. And then here, at this point here, I'm going to put another keyframe. Okay. Now you can't see them at the moment, so what you do is you click on the eye here, and it turns the keyframes on in the timeline. So what I want to do then is I want to add another keyframe about there, like that. Okay, and I want to drag this keyframe here all the way down, like that. So when we play the audio back now, that's how you use keyframes in audio. And if you wanted to add another keyframe, for example, here, just hover over the line, and you'll see a black arrow. Click on that, and it'll add a keyframe. If you move it across, you can add another keyframe, and I'm going to bring that back up to its original level. So when you come to the end of the film, so that's how you use keyframes. So that has now put a basic film together. There are lots of other things. There's lots of templates that you can use, effects and things like that. Also, with this software, every time your license expires at the end of 12 months, they give you an offer that you just can't refuse, and you get lots and lots of effects when you upgrade. The price of upgrading is a lot cheaper than it would be if you was to buy the software, but they tempt you by offering all these add-ons as well. So I've got Pro Dad effects, new blue effects and elements. I've got new blue stylizers, and there's hundreds and hundreds of them in here. New blue filters, so you get all of them. And one of them is actually a green screen. So what if we just let me see if I can find something. So if I go back into my videos, let's see. Green screen. Let's put something with a green screen on it. Say, for example, this here. So if I wanted to add this, you've just done a YouTube video, okay, and you want to add your subscribe button. Okay, so there's your subscribe button. So I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to click on effects, and you can search for it, but I'm just going to type in the search chroma. Okay, so there it is. Now that's your standard chroma key that you get with the software. But like I said, you get lots of other effects when you upgrade. One of them is called Chroma Key Pro, and you've got this Chroma Key Duo Chrome as well. So I'm going to click on Chroma Key Pro, and I'm going to click on Apply Effect. Okay, once that opens up, I'm going to on the preset. I'm going to click on that. I'm going to click on Green Key, and that's your green screen gone. There's lots of things inside it, like garbage mats and stuff like that. You can change the sensitivity, so I'm going to drop that down to change the sensitivity, move this little green line around here. And also, once you've done that, if you close the search, right, go back into your effects, and I want to go on to view and animation. Now you can change the size of that, okay? So you just click on size and then click on apply. It'll give you handles here to change the size of it. So if you just drag them in, you can change the size of it, and you can also put it to where you want. So if you want to hide it, for example, okay, so at the start of it, I'm going to make a keyframe at the beginning. So I'm going to put a keyframe there, and then I'm going to move it up. No, put the keyframe there, and then I'm going to move it to the end of the video, like that, and I want it to be in the middle, like that. And as you can see, it's automatically put a keyframe there. So what we should get now, when you play it back, it puts a keyframe in for you, so you get that. Okay, you can stop the keyframe wherever you want. So if you wanted to stop it, say for example A, just drag it, and then what will happen is it'll stop there, and it'll move up. You can move it, play around with your keyframes until you get them how you want them. So that's how you use keyframes. So it is pretty simple to use this software. That's what I like about it. I can put a film together in minutes. There's lots of other things that we can talk about. Title editing, all these different video effects that we've got in here, brightness, colour, colour correction, shake it, you can stabilization, you can even slow down and speed up. Lots and lots of different effects that you can talk about. Even 3D effects. So you could basically, that'd be under here, 3D which I'm going to go through on the next presentation. But that is basically how you put a basic film together. To export it, dead simple. Click on File, Export Movie, and as you can see, you get lots of different things. So if you only wanted to do sound, you could just export it as an MP3 or WAV, and that will just export the sound. So if you wanted to export the sound and clean it up, and then put it back in, that's how you would do it, WAV or MP3. Or you can export a single frame as an image, JPEG or PNG, And you've got all these other options as well. So I'm going to just click on export videos in MP4 for this example. And you'll see that it's picked up the video from the timeline settings. You can change them if you want. Just drop everything down, change it how you want to. So if you was doing a 4K video but you wanted to render into 1080p, once you click on export movie, it will come up here with 4K resolution. So you just drop that down and click on 1920 by 1080, and that's it. And all you do then is give it a name and tell it to where you want to save it. So I'm going to just type in here, sample movie. I'm going to tell it to put it onto the desktop, for example. So it's going to be sample movie onto the desktop. Everything else we don't need to mess about with. Just click OK. And it's telling you that there's sections of a fan where there's no movie or sound, which is this gap here at the beginning, which I'm not bothered about because I want a little bit of a gap before the movie starts. So I'm going to click on ignore. And when it finishes exporting, it will open up and it will play the movie. Okay, so that has now finished exporting the movie. So let's have a quick look at how that's done. So it's down here on the desktop, sample movie. Just going to double click that and play it. I'm going to speed it up.
How is it going?
Yeah, use that way.
Oh yeah, is it? I'm going backwards. I think I swap with you.
There's a green screen effect that you did.
No?
So that is how you put a basic movie together using Magix Studio 2025 Suite. The next presentation we're going to go through a few effects, a few sound effects and 3D effects, distortion effects and things like that. But for this presentation, that's it.